We enter this world hungry, fragile, and uncertain. Throughout life, we try to overcome these feelings by attempting to control the world around us. We chase achievements, higher status, wealth, recognition, and power. We carry a deep hope that, in the future, we'll possess enough to eliminate our inner emptiness, insecurity, and confusion, and finally secure happiness outside ourselves. This future-focused hope may seem logical, but perhaps it is what traps us in dissatisfaction. To better understand and respond to this ongoing hunger for external happiness and control, we can turn to the ancient philosophy of Stoicism. Stoicism originated in ancient Greece and gained further influence in ancient Rome. Its strength lies in how well its wisdom has endured for thousands of years. In many ways, Stoic teachings are just as, if not more, relevant today. Recently, Stoicism has seen a surge in popularity. It influenced Nelson Mandela, is discussed by modern thinkers like Tim Ferriss, Robert Greene, and Ryan Holiday, and has found a growing community online. The appeal is clear. Stoicism offers tools for calm, resilience, and awareness in a world overwhelmed by noise, fear, and endless craving. According to Stoicism, we live in a reality that doesn't adapt to our preferences. We can't wish away chaos, suffering, or unpredictability, nor can we force them out of existence. Still, Stoicism doesn't imply that we are powerless. It divides life into two spheres: the external, events and conditions we can't control, and the internal, our thoughts, reactions, and choices, which we can. When we pin our hopes on external things or future outcomes, we sacrifice every present moment for one that may never arrive. We grow dependent on what lies beyond our reach, locked into an endless chase for more. It's natural to want growth, improvement, and variety, but we must be intentional in our pursuit. Without purpose, we risk wasting time and life itself. Any task, no matter how grand, becomes meaningless if we believe its rewards will bring more satisfaction than the act of doing it with presence and focus. There's no harm in gaining wealth, status, or power, but for the Stoic, these should be appreciated if they come, not relied upon for happiness. Depending on them leaves our peace fragile, easily disturbed, or never attained. A genuinely successful person in Stoic thought is one who remains content without the comforts they once desired. Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius, perhaps the most powerful man of his era, wrote, "Almost nothing material is needed for a happy life for he who has understood existence." Despite having access to everything, Aurelius focused little on self-indulgence. To build inner strength, Stoics often practiced voluntary discomfort, temporarily removing things they usually relied on to prove they could endure without them. Seneca, in his Letters from a Stoic, wrote, "Until we have begun to go without them, we fail to realize how unnecessary many things are. We've been using them not because we needed them, but because we had them." It's this constant belief that something external or upcoming is required for a meaningful life that prevents us from experiencing a meaningful life at all. Seneca also advised careful use of time. He warned, "Keep what is really yours, and you cannot begin too early, for it is too late to spare when you reach the dregs of the cask. Of that which remains at the bottom, the amount is slight, and the quality is vile." In other words, if happiness and time are what we seek, we must value and act on them now. Without shifting how we view the present, everything ahead will remain out of focus. To the Stoic, happiness amid life's chaos comes from character and perspective. Events themselves aren't good or bad, only our judgment makes them so. The wise man, Seneca wrote, is neither raised up by prosperity nor cast down by adversity. For always he has striven to rely predominantly on himself and to derive all joy from himself. We should train our perspective to support lasting contentment, regardless of circumstances. Stoicism teaches that we are only a small part of nature's whole. Everything that happens is part of a broader system, and our role is to accept events without resistance and focus instead on how we respond. Through this, we begin to free ourselves from the world's turbulence and discover a more stable happiness. Within, this practice is far from easy. A purely Stoic life is likely beyond reach. Everyone feels desire or reacts negatively at times. But Stoicism gives us something to strive toward, a goal of wisdom, serenity, and strength, even during life's hardest moments. Today, as anxiety and disorder flood our screens, as we're pressured to live up to cultural ideals and constantly compare ourselves to others, our peace feels increasingly at risk. Stoicism may offer a way to protect it. From birth, we race through life, constantly looking ahead. Never satisfied, we imagine a future where one more achievement, possession, or improvement will finally complete us. Society amplifies this belief, urging us to buy, earn, and perfect our lives. This delusion leads to chronic dissatisfaction, and when we believe more stuff or success will solve this, we become trapped in a cycle of endless want. In doing so, we abandon ourselves. Seneca warned against blind conformity, saying, "We should not, like sheep, follow the herd, making our way where others go, not where we ought to go." From a Stoic view, the things we often chase are trivial from a broader perspective. We have little control over what happens to us, how others see us, or the outcomes of our actions, and in the grand scheme, most of it doesn't matter. So we must define happiness not by possessions, accomplishments, or others' approval, but by how we think, how we live, and whether we act according to what we find meaningful and virtuous. Stoicism reminds us that we can, if we choose, meet an indifferent world with a calm and steady mind in return.